Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new campaign, Lords of Sin, inspired by 7 Sinners from Mana Project Studio. So this is a supplement that has some really cool ideas in here, and we've taken that and fleshed it out and turned it into a full-fledged mini-campaign. My name is Ethan. I will be your dungeon master for this adventure, and I will be joined by 6 incredible players, but they aren't here yet. That's because I have a few announcements to get through first, and then we will begin to meet our players and characters. First of all, and foremost, this campaign is going to be rated R. Now, this first session, probably not going to have much triggering content, and each subsequent episode will come with its own customized, individualized content warnings. But given the fact that this campaign is, and again, I can say this because the players aren't here really, even though they know this, this campaign is built around the 7 sins and manifestations thereof, if taken to their worst level. So be prepared for that. Look for the content warnings. Take care of yourselves. It's okay to not want to listen to an episode. You can skip forward, skip sections. We will have timestamps for the most triggering or content warning necessary sections. That is the first and most important thing to get out of the way. Second thing, these sessions are pre-recorded. Why? Because of that first reason. I wanted to make sure that every single player felt comfortable using their X card if necessary. And sometimes live streaming a game can add pressure if there's an audience. Hello, cat. You don't want to let the stream down, you don't want to interrupt the flow. So we are pre-recording this so that all players feel comfortable, even though we have gone over our lines and veils. I always want the players to feel comfortable, especially in R-rated games, of saying, eh. So, just to make sure that everyone feels as confident using that as possible, we will be pre-recording these streams. You will be able to also listen to the cleaned up narrative play version of these episodes on Go Buff Yourself, anywhere that you get your podcasts. I think those are my most important announcements. So, let's go ahead and run that intro video so that we can get into the first episode of The Lords of Sin. 7 celestial bodies in nearly perfect alignment in the summer sky. Bright enough to be seen, though the sun has yet to even touch the horizon. Nearly 7 months ago, these new, small, but bright lights appeared in the night sky. And across Ivor, people stood and silently gazed to the heavens. Some in fear, others hope, and all in wonder. In the halls of learning, from High Gale to Thavalahim, to tribal scalded wise women, gathered and whispered in reclusive confusion. The hopeful rejoiced that the gods would finally grace Ivor with their footsteps. As these stars burned across the sky, growing brighter and closer to each other, Ivor itself grew darker in equal measure. Strange rumors have started to stride across the lands. Disturbing reports. People have grown fearful of the stars and of each other. Some have heralded this as a time of revelation, while entire towns have shuttered their doors in fear. Did you hear? In Trist, the governor took 20 hands in one day for theft. Trist? Oh, more than 2,000 people live there. Aye. There is the popping sound of firewood. Much like that. The popping sound of firewood, the hiss of fat as it drips onto the coals, and we see several people seated around a campfire. A makeshift camp on the side of the road on the island of Vasami. You can smell the ocean air. It's a bright summer's day. The 7 stars, even as the sun has yet to start to set, can still be seen in the sky. And we see about half a dozen figures around this campfire. 2 orcs, a human, a 3-keen, an elf, and 1 other individual. Shin. Cory, could you please describe who we see here amongst this group?
Seated in the center, tea kettle over the fire, sits a 6'9", and you can tell that he used to be much larger. There's the muscle, like he has very sinewy muscles that tell the tale of a man that used to be a much bigger man, more muscular man. There's stretch marks in his armpits and around where he seemingly has slimmed down farther than probably what is natural for him. He takes the pot off of the fire, and you see in the light that he has tan skin. But the thing that draws your eyes as you look at him and the strangeness of him is that there are scales along his arms, and his eyes are white. There's no discernible pupil, just white. His hair is, against his tan skin, his hair is just stark white, almost silvery in the glistening light. And he looks, if you were guessing by human years, to be 60s and 70s. Hard to tell.
And these 5 individuals sitting with you, you had never met them before today. You had never met them more than an hour ago. Simply travelers along the road, stopping together to get some rest.
There's nothing better Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
The Three-Keen, his mandibles chitter as he looks up towards the stars coming closer and closer to alignment in the sky. As we see the six of you there, what is Shin doing?
As he takes the teapot off the fire, he reaches into his pack and just conveniently pulls out the exact number of teacups that he needs, like a practiced hand. And almost without even looking, he's not even looking at what he's doing. He's just staring off into space, then looking at them and giving a warm smile. You know, tea is one of the most unifying things. It neither has evil nor good, it just is. And it creates a situation where people can meet as complete strangers and leave friends. Unlike alcohol, which I do partake every once in a while, can sometimes start as friends and end as enemies. Which is why I prefer tea. Hands each one of them as he's just musing to himself.
They all take it. A few of them, in response to your comment about alcohol, just murmuring to one another, like, still wouldn't mind trying. And one of the orcs, as you were saying this, he takes the mug from you, but had clocked his companion looking at the stars, and walks over and thumps the Three-Keen on the shoulder. As all the stars are too. Not good, not bad. Don't worry about it all. Chitters.
I don't know if that would be wise. There is something wrong in the universe. I can feel it. There is imbalance. Something has tipped the scales in the wrong direction. Though I will say that wrong and right direction is a matter of perspective. But nevertheless, the scales have been tipped in the wrong, or right, but have been tipped in a direction that leaves it imbalanced. Keeps making tea.
The elf, you were seated on a log by this frequently used campsite. There are many along the roads that travelers will frequent. You know them quite well. In fact, I would wager you have probably slept here before, Shin. But you are sitting on a long fallen log, and the elf had seated on the same and scoots over your direction a little bit with the mug of tea, just getting closer. So what do you think it is then?
Hard to say. Could be anything. But the stars being it the way they are, and the way that the world feels whatever it is, it brings calamity. Or it could not. Hard to say. You worry too much, Elf. Your long life has made you paranoid. The thing about violence that you must understand is that there is always, when the scale is tipped, the scale wants to be balanced. So what happens? Something else rises up to even it out. So, even if the scale is tipped for longer than you think it should, the universe balances itself out. Because that is what is natural. That is what is right. And then gives him another cup of tea, even though he already has one.
And he just takes the other one and just, yeah, you'll probably right. I heard some folks saying it's the gods finally coming.
The gods.
That'd be good, right?
Dependent. Gods are fickle creatures. People like to think of them in their own perspectives, from human or mortal minds. Unfortunately, gods are it's like trying to fathom the depths of the ocean at once. And it's just like the ocean in that sense. And he looks out over the ocean. Terrible, beautiful, deadly, and gives life all at once. So for the gods who come to Earth, that could be destruction, mayhem, calamity.
You talk like you know him. One of the
know
orcs, who sits down on a stump across.
How you know so much about the gods?
I've met a few in my time.
Ha! Bullshit to that.
Does it matter if you believe or do not believe me?
Well,
Will it change your life moving on from this conversation? Whether or not I was telling the truth or completely full of shit?
might change mine. What were they like?
Right.
The gods.
Just terrifying and unconcerned with us. Some are. Most aren't. Human mortals think too highly of themselves. They think too highly of their position in the universe. But the thing is that in that is freedom. Your choices are not good or evil. They just are. So we must live as good as we can, doing right by those we think we should do right by. Because in the end, the universe is indifferent to our existence.
You're a wise man, Shin.
I'm old as fuck, that's why.
He's full of shit, that's what he is.
An angry young man, I see. Full of violence and war. Thinking that everything you come across is shit. And you know what the funny thing is? What is your name again?
Agorth.
Agorth. That's a beautiful name. A strong name. Do you know what the thing about it is, Agorth? You're right. It is all shit. If you think about it, everything ends up as poop. We go into the ground. We become plants. The cow eat plant. We become shit. Eventually, everything is shit. So you're not wrong.
You bring talking shit to a different level.
That's all you get to do when you get my age.
The tea ain't bad.
Should be. Been working on it for 120 years.
Gives it another look and sniff with that information. Nods almost knowingly to himself, as if he could pick up any, oh yeah, I can tell now that you mention it. We see as you all bed down here for the evening, safe in each other's company, the fire continuing to burn through the evening, through the night, and those 7 stars in the sky. So bright. Shin, when it's your turn to take watch, the sounds of the snores of your companions, what are you doing now that you're here alone with your thoughts again?
Have you abandoned this universe again? Have you moved on to another pursuit? Is it I who must balance the scales for you? Yet again. You know, for a patron god, you're rather like a negligent father. I'm joking. But do not take me seriously. I am just an old man with nothing better to do than make tea for strangers.
The
And
wind
as he
blows, the clouds temporarily obscuring these 7 new bright points in the sky. And you were saying?
He puts away all his things, and he looks over at all his compatriots. How to know, to live in blissful ignorance, just how close the world is to ceasing to exist. Or maybe this one, or the next. Hard to say. A cruel fate. I hope you all never realize.
And with just the sound of Shin chuckling to himself, we cut to the next day. We see Shin, once again, doing what Shin does. Walking down the road. You've walked these paths so many times that the paths themselves have become the destination for you. You know that you will arrive at another town here in probably a day and a half, but that's not the point. And as you are walking, could you please make me a perception check? Switching music.
That's a 7 on the dice. I am lost in my own thoughts.
You do see skyships in the sky as you are walking here. It's only about 9 a.m. You still have your morning tea warming your belly. And as you look up in the sky, you see several skyships, most of them fairly distant. That is relatively unusual in your experience, during your time at least here on the island of Vasami. Most of the skyship travel tends to happen more over the mainland and across the mountains. But as you continue to walk, you crest a rise, the ocean stretching large in front of you. One of the airships begins to pass closer. And even with a 7, as you're looking up, because your passive perception is even higher than that, I would imagine. What's your passive perception?
13.
13. So I would say you do notice the glint of a spyglass as this large airship begins to approach. Do you do anything as it continues to approach, or just...
I'm pretty sure I do.
What do you do?
Shin looks up and is like, and Shin, being a nomadic type individual and a creature of curiosity and learning to be curious of the world, he flies up to it.
Fantastic.
And just what they see from the side of the ship is just a single little body, or large body for compared, to them.
Because you do have flight, yeah?
I have shoes that help me fly too.
Fantastic. So, how does it look when Shin flies? Like, does it just look like you're levitating, or how do you envision it?
So the way I envision it is spectral dragon wings just erupt out of his back and then they sort of flutter, but they're a little more graceful than like a dragon probably would actually have to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're obviously, it's magical in nature, and they're dim. They're barely perceptible because Shin doesn't want all the glitter and pomp and circumstance. They're just barely perceptible, but you can tell that like you're seeing a mirage behind, like off of him.
As you take off into the sky and pull alongside the skyship, you can see that your doing so causes a little bit, not a huge amount, but a little bit of a commotion, as people were not expecting a person to suddenly be flying alongside them. There are a few points, but there is one individual who you see notice you flying up and like walks right to the edge of the ship and stands and waits for you to fly level to him. And he raises a hand and the skyship begins to slow.
So Shin actually descends a little bit below him so that he's looking up at him or them to position himself just a little bit lower. And, good morning. Care to interest yourself in maybe some tea this morning? I make a very mean cup of tea and would love to share it with your fine ship. How many on your ship? And he's like, you see him like look and glance. What is the compliment?
So on here, you see this. What would you say Shin's experience with?
He can guess a ship's compliment just by looking at it.
It is. This looks like a ship likely from the Imperial fleet. It is, the individuals on here are dressed well. It has a full complement. Probably about, on this ship, about 20 folk.
Mm-hmm. You see Shin reach into his bag of holding and pull out 20 teacups in a stack. I have enough for everyone.
The individual who was standing there waiting for you, as you made this introduction, they were standing a little bit more formally, very militarily in posture. But as you had this introduction, they cross their arms and cock an eyebrow at you. This is a Goliath who is wearing the colors of the queendom of Windward. And cocks an eyebrow, little smile, and just does a small gesture for you to land on the ship.
He lands cross-legged on the railing and puts it down, and then he pulls out, so he sits, and he doesn't even immediately start talking to this person. He, on the ship, just the deck of the ship, pulls out of his bag of holding logs, like little cut logs.
And then the Goliath, as you begin pulling things out of your bag, just puts a hand on your shoulder just to get you to like look up from where you've bent over to do this.
Would you do me the honor of attending me in my office before we have this tea ceremony?
No. How am I supposed to share tea with your whole crew in your office?
I would greatly appreciate if you would allow me to keep this a request and not a order. This is my ship. We bear you absolutely no ill will. Far from it, as a matter of fact. However, your mode of arrival has caused a slight stir among my complement, and we have business that needs attending to in private.
You notice something peculiar as this character is looking down at Shin. The teapot in his hand is boiling. 1 second, and pours almost in one fluid motion 20 cups of tea.
You watch as the Goliath processes that you just have done what you said you were going to do in the time it took him to make the request that you not. And just gives a little, very well.
And then he reaches into his bag and pulls out a very ornate, like, teacup in stone, pours a very nice glass, looks up at this Goliath and is like, I can tell that you have had a bit of a day, and reaches back and puts some whiskey in the tea and then just hands it to him.
As you do that, well, why didn't you say that in the first place? Cheers to your health and to Her Majesty's.
Cheers to whoever you want.
As the crew comes and grabs some warm tea, because up here, as high as you have flown in order to match the altitude of the ship, it is a little chilly. You've gone up a little distance, so they are happily warming their hands here on these hot mugs of tea. And the captain leads you into his office. It's a simply appointed chamber for the most part, with several military accolades on display in here. A host of different weapons. Most of them seem to be dress weapons, though there are a few that do look quite functional in here as well. And he gestures for you to take a very comfortable... can hear the dog claws above me. He gestures for you to take a seat in a very comfortable-looking chair, all things considered. And interestingly enough, the chair that he gestures you towards on the guest's side of the desk has cushions. His does not. The guest side has a slight, give for your back. His is very straight and rigid. And I think you are able to read a lot of that.
What's his rank again? Is it captain?
It seems to be.
If I might, Captain, it has been a long time since I had an occasion to use these, if you don't mind. He reaches into his bag of holding and pulls out 2 ornate slabs with like little booty divots, if for lack of a better way of describing it. And they are lined around the edges with like sort of like runic script of Goliathan origin. It has been a long time since I got to sit with one of my own kind back when you were my own kind. So maybe a more formal and familiar sitting position. He sits them on the floor and then sets the other one across from him and sits and stares and, sits on it cross-legged. Very tribal style.
Could you make me a persuasion check with advantage here? Very cool.
That is a 14. No, it's 13. 13, excuse
13?
me. First one's 13. Yeah, 13.
He looks at you doing this. You can see his jaw tighten a little bit, and he walks over to the door, very rhythmic steps, and clunk, locks it. Walks back to like a valet stand for where a coat can be placed, and he removes the military coat that he was wearing, drapes it, and removes all current insignia of the queendom. Sits down across from you. It would be insulting for me to reject your offer.
You're well practiced in our traditions. To refuse an elder's invitation to sit is a high offense. Though I don't take offense too much these days. Different path, different time.
You do not I suspect you know this, but you don't look like any Goliath elder I have ever seen. What is your story then? For you do know Goliath ways. And those, and he gestures at the mugs you have, if they were a gift to you from any tribe, then at minimum they hold you in high esteem.
Do Goliath speak Goliath or do they speak giant? I think it's...
Here it is giant.
Yeah, so it's giant. So in giant, which I do have as a language I can speak, he says, the road has changed many things that I once was and that what I will be. But at my heart will always be my family, my tribe, my land.
If you were excommunicated from one of the tribes, it would be a dishonor for me as well to inquire about why.
I will allow this question. In my tribe, questions are never pushed against. Knowledge and knowing, both in battle and in life, are always an advantage. Unfortunately, I was exiled from my previous tribe, for they had lost their way. I mean, also by the fact is, I am, if you can see, and in Goliath, in giant, this would be a very derogatory term, a slur, if you will, but he says it openly, a runt.
Then you must be Shin.
Fame and accolade are a poison and a drug. It has been a little while since anyone has recognized me on sight.
That is the reason that I was sent here. You are the Shin, the one who is hunted by the tribe of Vorash, yes?
Yes. A fool's errand, and one of vanity. Unfortunately, I've had to end the lives of many of my kin. And you see, like, an immense amount of shame cascade over Shin's visage.
The captain reaches forward and he puts his hand on the back of your head and he pulls your forehead to his.
I know well what it is not to be welcome back in one's tribe. I chose to serve the Queen. That I understand what it is that you are feeling. And you honor
do
me.
A great honor.
You honor me by sharing. And
Gestures at the drinks.
By allowing me to go home a little bit again.
Now, he stands up, walks back over to the valet stand and redresses himself. And walks behind the desk and he grabs a scroll and he unfurls it. Queen Meleth of Windward, daughter of Queen Meleth, granddaughter of Queen Eleanor, chosen of the gods, long may she reign, has need of your services, and requests your immediate attendance in high gale. And turns the scroll to you and you can see the very ornamental royal seal.
It is for precisely the reason that you were exiled. That her queen has need, or that her majesty has need of you.
She wants a weapon of war.
It appears we may need one.
That is not who I am anymore. I do not raise my fist nor sword against the mortals or souls of this realm. You will have to find another, a younger one, plus I am an old man. It is the place of the young to fight and spill blood for meaningless or meaningful, I apologize. But for the will of others, I am here to maintain balance in the universe, to shelter and heal, for I have spilt my share of blood, and now I must repay.
Is there anything that I could say that would convince you otherwise? What if I were to tell you that if our worst suspicions are correct, it is not the place of the young to spill their blood. It is the place of those who can.
There is mighty wisdom in your words.
Your
Then leave your
fight
queen.
is not yet done.
Tell me, blood of my blood and tribe of my tribe, is this cause noble? Is this cause just? Or is this the vanity of those in power? I know that you serve your queen. And he gets up at the full of his height and butts his forehead to him. Tell me, as one of mine, as blood and soul of mine, leave your fantasies, leave your fervor. What it is true.
He, as you slam your forehead into the immediate, like a contest of bulls, as the force of him immediately pushes back against you as you growl this into his face, and he responds, "It could be the end of everything."
Okay.
Oh. At least that is, if the worst is to be believed. You are being summoned to attend a council of her queen. Should you determine that there is no need for your intervention, you seem a wise man, tribe of my tribe.
Oh, I know it is worth my while. They sent you. I mean,
Well,
how many Goliaths can be in the Queen's army?
I wish my mother shared your opinion. Now, you have any more of that whiskey?
And Shin reaches down into his bag of holding and pulls out. Oh, I can do you one better. And it's mountain bourbon. This is the starkest bourbon that could exist. Hard to come by. Haven't had a reason to share with anyone who could stomach it.
He looks at it, gets a smile on again, the only smile you've seen him have, just the little half smile. And he claps a hand on your shoulder, walks to the door, unlocks it, and shouts out, "Aemon, you have the watch." Closes the door and grabs the bottle, pours you a serving, and then pours himself one. We see, as the skyship that you are on sails towards Ivora, the main continent, the enormous mountain range, the belt of the world coming into view, as you sail through the sky to Higale. Thank you, Cory.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm so sad that I can't see the rest of your
You'll
stuff.
just have to watch it when we stream
I'm going
it.
to. Just know that
We start in a tavern. The tavern of a mountain town. The moon looms large, nearly full, and a tall tower can be seen silhouetted in the distance. 7 bright lights in the sky, coming closer to aligning. A skeletal-looking figure trudges through the foot-high snow, robes whipping in the biting wind. We see as the figure approaches a building with warm orange light pouring out of the windows and casts a spell, disguising his face, concealing his cadaverous appearance with that of a beautiful elven man. Opens the door. The winter wind carrying snow here into this tavern. And as the door shuts, this individual scans the room. People inside, and there are about 7 or 8, not counting the bartender, look away. Except one person in here. Valkerie. Danny, could you please describe your character?
Sitting at one of the tables, you see an elf sitting there, but she's not like most elves that you've seen, because her face, while she does have olive skin, it is very grayish. She has a very grayish tone to her skin, almost as if she has not seen the sun in centuries. And she's wearing all black leathers, her armor. She has black pauldrons on her armor, and it's all leather. And she is wearing a black hood to cover her face, to cover her ears. And so you can't see her hair. But you can see she has black hair falling down her face and a very white streak at the very, very front of it. And she's sitting there, drinking mead and looking directly at what is the skeletal figure that's just walked in.
And this figure, who right now looks like a shockingly beautiful elven man, strides towards you. You, with your keen observation, notice that his feet don't quite touch the ground. And as he walks over to you, I hear that you might be in possession of a particular item. You had previously in this town started to seed rumors of your possession, or that you had in your possession a particular item, a reagent necessary for certain arcane magics. What item was that, Valkerie?
A compass.
Is there anything unique about this compass?
It's broken. If you look at the compass, it's broken and always points south.
I hear you might be in possession of a particular item. I have come to purchase it from you. Name your price. There is a cat. There is a cat here in this tavern.
Mm-hmm. Val does not take her eyes off of this beautiful elf to look at the cat that she so wants to pet. Well, what if I told you that all I want you to do is meet me later tonight in the South Cemetery? That's it. I'll give you what you seek.
Looks you up and down. A flair for the dramatic.
Maybe I just want to be in a cemetery at night with a beautiful elf. I mean, I am alive. It's not like I don't have once as well.
Just lets out a low, not quite a growl, at that
last comment. Cemetery it is, then.
We have something nice.
Just gives you a, can't even conceal the snarl combined with a sneer as this elf looks down his nose at you, turns and strides from the inn. We cut to shortly before midnight. There is a light snow falling, and you are far enough outside of town that there are no torches here. This is a small town. The only light is from the nearly full moon, dominating the sky. Is there anything that you have done in the interim time here at the graveyard to prepare for this meeting?
I have dug up one of the graves here. I dug up one of the graves, and I took out the wooden coffin inside of it, and I took it away from the cemetery. So it has cemetery, so there is a hole now there, and I put spikes at the bottom of it, and I have covered it with kind of a sheet. It's like a brown cloth, and then I'm trying to let the snow cover more of that. I've pushed more snow into it as well, so it looks like it's just a regular grave here. And then I've also taken one of my mutagens, so my normally red eyes are now white. So I've taken one of them as well. And before this dealer arrives, I've also taken one of the swords off my back and done a rite on it. But then I put it back on my back.
The bitter taste of the potion that you have taken still lingers on your tongue. And you see, as this figure begins to approach the graveyard, stops about 20 feet from you, and we just see the two of you, the wind blowing across. Well, we've met in your dramatic location. What is your price?
You're very focused on price, aren't you?
Weren't you selling?
I don't think you care about money.
I don't. But you might. And if you don't, what do you care about? What is your price?
Leave. Leave the town. It's a simple thing, really.
Why would I do that?
Because you want this. And I take out the broken compass.
I do. But there is a third option, and that is that I could simply kill you and take it. I would prefer to pay.
I thought you might say that. Well, I'm all right with that too.
Which is its mortal? Life or death?
So, in that moment, you see Val. Actually, there is a tree kind of near the cemetery because, you know, as a beautiful viewing tree that's very pretty. It's overgrown here, and you see her jump into the air onto the tree actually, and kind of like stick onto it.
Was that death? Fine. And he goes to cast a spell on you.
And then, yes, and while she sees the elf lift its hand, she takes out on the tree, takes out the sword, and drives it down from above.
But as you drive the sword down, what are you looking for to happen in this moment?
I want to push the elf towards the grave that I've covered.
100%. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do this. Could you please roll me? We're going to do this as a series of luck checks. Could you roll me 2d20? Okay. And let me know which of those two is farther from 10.
I wrote a 5 and a 12, so the 5.
5. Okay. 1 second. Shift one thing here. So, as you go to do this, the elf here is able to get the spell off that he was attempting to cast on you. It doesn't have any somatic components. It's simply a word. How many hit points does Valkerie currently have?
141.
That's very fortunate. Because this elf, as you come stabbing down and miss, and he is able to just kind of shifts into a small cloud of mist, appearing just 5 feet away, and he utters a single word. And you know this word. And you know that had you not trained for as long as you have, the simple utterance of that word would have snuffed out your life. What is the next thing that you do as it shifts over?
As it shifts over, I'm going to... Ooh, at this point, I do have a binding, blood curse of the binding, and I'm going to attempt to bind it.
So,
at this point.
Okay. How does that one work? I have to look that one up.
Yeah, I wrote down a short thing for it. I believe you have to do a strength saving throw, DC 15.
Okay, not its best. Okay. So, strength saving throw for this individual. 8 on the die is definitely not going to do it. So, what does this blood curse of binding look like as this elf fails this saving throw?
So, Val throws out her hand, and it almost looks like she's gripping on... She's only gripping onto air, but she's actually gripping onto the life force of this thing as she holds it in place. And she just has to do it once to hold it into place, to try to get it to sit there.
As you manage to bind this individual, the elven face dissolves away as he lost his concentration. And you see a rotted face, brown teeth. You can see the skull beneath the left side with the eye dead in that socket. As the Lich begins to speak once again, you reach into your pouch and you grab the trap that you had prepared. Do you throw it?
Yes.
As you do, you activate this trap, and all sound around you disappears. And you toss it 5 feet from him, or 10 feet from him. And you watch as unable to move, unable to speak, or unable to be heard, at least. The Lich glares at you, and you hear his voice in your mind. His true voice.
What is it that you hope to accomplish here, you fool? I cannot be killed.
Can I talk back to it?
Oh, of course.
You think you cannot be killed. But everything can be killed. If you can be made, then you can be unmade.
Hoarse laughter courses through your brain.
Oh, child, you meddle with forces you do not understand.
We cut to a week ago. We see Valkerie in a dark cave. We see you, a simple box in your hand, covered in runes. It took you months to find the Lich's phylactery. Countless bribes. Countless worse things. And in order to destroy a Lich's phylactery, it requires a particular item. This can be an item of significance or absolute insignificance. Val, what was the item needed to unmake this phylactery?
Hanging around Val's neck is not a normal pendant, it is a dragon claw. And she took off the dragon claw and stabs it into the Lich's phylactery. Because in her mind, the only thing that can kill that is something of more magic, which is a dragon.
You stab into this phylactery. There is no great ceremony at first, but then the box crumbles in your grasp, just chunks of wood. And we cut back to in the graveyard. The Lich, unable to speak out loud, still speaking into your head, gloating.
You are an insect. I have lived countless of your lives.
Good. Because they've run out now. I'm glad you got to experience all that you did. Because now, you're going to experience what we all have to. Death.
Fool, when I return, I will
To
ensure...
your box? Your little box? Or are you saving it to, I don't know, an engagement of some sort to another skeleton? What is it that you do? Oh, well, I got to it first.
What are you saying? You lie!
I didn't know you were also stupid. And you see just she doesn't smile often, but when she does, you see fangs. As soon as she starts to smile, you see very, not white, but kind of an off-white teeth there. And you can see her fangs protruding. And now, as this happens, you can see the hood fall back from her, and you can see small pointed ears.
The Lich begins to struggle feebly against the bindings, but is no longer speaking in your mind and is now starting to panic. What do you do?
I'm going to... At that point, she has one sword in her hand, and she's going to slash into the Lich.
You make me I'm going to say, an Arcana check with advantage.
Okay. That's a D20, right? It's my...
Correct. And that'll be plus your
One,
Arcana
one.
skill, which is a +7.
Okay. That is going to be 14.
Did you roll it twice?
No.
So that's with it. Whenever you roll with advantage, you roll twice.
17.
17. This was you honestly got most of the information with the first one. You watch as the Lich, panicking as you begin to approach, starts to draw arcane symbols in front of him, and you bring your sword across and remove his hands from his arms. We cut and see a bright blue sky filled with enormous clouds. Floating amongst them, there are cats. There are just cats everywhere, just for what it's worth, so you know. And floating amongst them, you see the peak of a mountain. There are floating islands of stone around the peak, jagged and broken. And clutching to the side of this floating mountaintop, piercing through the clouds that drift past, is the grasp. Your home, Valkerie, and the home of the Clawbound. We cut to you walking through the stone halls of the grasp, and we see, hanging from your belt, 2 withered hands. You've walked these halls so many times before. How many years has the grasp been your home?
150.
You know these halls better than anywhere else in the world. Where are you heading right now?
I'm going up to my small room. More like a dormitory.
As you begin to ascend the stairs of one of the sections of the grasp, Violet catches up to you. You recognize the sound of her running before you even see her. Could you describe Violet?
Violet is a much smaller elf than what I used to be. She is not yet a Damphir. She's about 5'6" compared to me, who's about 5'11", 6 foot. And she's small. She has a bright smile on her face, and she has black hair like mine, but instead of a white streak, hers goes to white at the ends. So it's ombres all the way to the ends. She's wearing all black leathers that mirror mine just as much. And she is almost bouncing up to me when she sees me and launches herself at me in a hug that seems a little bit more like I'm going to catch her, though, than anything.
Because you have. Countless times. And she launches herself at you, and she squeezes you incredibly hard, and as she lets you go, "All right, you have to tell me everything." And she points to the hands. Was it a lich?
It was. You were right. As always.
Bastard.
I
Details?
wish I was as smart as you. Maybe I would have killed it days earlier. But no.
No. Lich? Me? By myself? Whew. No. Not yet. Maybe. One day. But come on, you have to tell me what happened. How'd you do it? How did you take out a lich?
Well, I really talked it to death, you know? Just talked it a whole bunch. And late at night in the cemetery, we just talked all night long, and finally it just cut off its own hands and gave it to me. I trapped it, of course. Just like the books say. Just like chapter 54.
53, pretty sure. You can double check me on that, but I was just reading it, so feel free.
I imagine you were.
As you all crest or arrive at the dormitory hall you were going towards, you see Tyron walking the opposite direction. And you see him see you, and he rolls his eyes, goes and reaches into a pouch, pulls out a few coins, and as he walks by, Violet opens her palm, he drops a few coins in to her palm, looks at you, shrugs, and walks off.
What is that about?
He bet against you.
He thought I would die.
More specifically, that you wouldn't succeed. Death wasn't the specific bet.
I see. Well, I'm twice his age. Why does he always think I'm going to die? On every mission. And every single one?
More of a hope!
What?
He shouts, it's more of a hope.
Ugh. You can just ask me out, you know.
No response to that. Absolutely not. No way. As you arrive at your room, Violet gives you another hug and come find me whenever you're all set.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get some food. Do you want anything?
Soup. Hot soup, please.
After killing a lick, you want hot. Fine.
They don't make soup this shitty anywhere else. And it makes me feel like I'm at home.
Now that's true. All right, 2 bowls of soup coming up. And goes and leaves you in your space. As you open the door to your room, what do we see?
You see, it's all stone walls, because the entire castle is made out of stone here, and so it's very dark gray stone walls, and there's a small bed in the corner. And the only nice thing in this entire room is there is an armoire in the room, and this armoire actually looks like it's worth something. Like it's tiger wood. It's very beautiful. It has gold locks on the top of it. It has a gold lock. And it's the only thing in here that looks like it's worth anything, and that everything else literally looks like I've taken my sword to it at some point and hacked on it. Except for that.
As you step into your room, the wind from outside howls in and whistles by, as it so often does, being up here in the sky. And it's that same familiar sound that you have fallen asleep to and lived to for 150 years. As you settle down here for a second, what are you doing?
I'm going to open the top drawer of that armoire. So you see me take a small golden key out of my pocket. I unlock the top one, and I open up the top piece of it, and you see these little wooden figurines inside there. They're like little whittled wood figurines. A bunch of them are misshapen dragons of different kinds. Some long, some larger, some wyverns, and then some foxes. But there's one that's half finished. And I take it out, and I take out a small knife that's also in there. And you see me sit down on my bed and start whittling at the piece to try to make some more cuts and shape it more.
Gung, 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 gung. Knock on your door.
Come in.
Door opens.
You hear me yell, come
and
in.
Rengal walks in. His one good eye looks the room up and down and looks you up and down and just gives a He gives a head nod for you to follow him and then just walks right back out of the room without saying anything.
I set that down. I set my knife and wood piece on the bed, and I get up and follow him.
You catch up to him and walk alongside him. And the fact that he doesn't speak at first is absolutely no surprise to you. You are walking on the side of him that is heavily scarred, missing an ear, missing an eye from a troll contract many, many years ago. Eventually, as you continue to make your way through the maze of the grasp, he says to you, "Were you smart?"
Yes.
Could you have been
Just
smarter?
like you taught me. What?
Could you have been smarter?
Always.
How?
I could have saved 3 of them that the Lich took if I would have taken it a day sooner.
How long did it take you to find the phylactery?
6 days.
Not bad. Make me a deception check, because it took you a little bit longer than that.
Is this up? Is there any
D20, and that's going to be plus your deception bonus, which for you is a -1.
Oh, it's an 8 then.
Luckily, he rolled a 2 on the die. So even with a +5, it's not enough. Then you wasted your time doing other nonsense. Opens the door to a room you know leads to one of the libraries on this floor. Small. No one's in here right now. He closes the door. We've had a communication from the Queendom of Windward.
Yes.
That is unusual. Just so, and you, having been here for 150 years, you have no recollection of that ever happening.
Okay.
The Clawbound operate kind of outside of that, and in fact, by the Queendom are... there have been times in history where the Queendom and the Clawbound were not on the best of terms because of the fact that they do operate outside of the Crown's control.
Okay.
So, when he says that, that is a bit of a shock. They wish us to send a representative to attend some meeting of theirs.
Since when do they care about us? Since when do they want us to be a representative of anything?
My question. Precisely. Which is why I need someone there to answer that question. Hope you've gotten rest.
You're going to send me.
Why not you? And he smiles at you, the half of his mouth that still can.
But there are so many better candidates for this. So many older candidates. Smarter, more studious, political even.
How do you think they got that way? Practice, Val. Practice. You are an expert at killing things. There are more skills that we need, however. This is an opportunity for you to develop those skills in a way that I could never teach you here. Consider it an extended training mission.
I just want it noted that this is not within the skill sets in which I currently hold. Going and being a representative somewhere is... It's a part of the reason that I never left here.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe they'll need you to swing a sword and kill a few things too.
Okay, I'll go. But I'm gonna climb on walls. Just so you know. I'm telling you that right now. I'm going to climb on the walls there.
The way that you say that every time that I send you somewhere that you don't want to go, I know that you're going to climb on walls. It's one of the things that I like about you, Val. Strange as it is. So, when was the last time that you were in the Queendom?
When you found me, I think.
There are strange reports coming in from across Ivora. There was a message today of a town where 40 people were found comatose on the same day. No explanation.
People. Do you think it's a cult?
No idea. But these strange reports combined with the Queen actually reaching out and looking for our counsel. These are strange times. Watch your back. Just because it isn't... Just because I'm not sending you to kill people or kill things doesn't mean you won't have to.
Well, I'll find any excuse if I can.
Maybe not any excuse, Val. Some discretion. We do still have the reputation of the Clawbound to think of.
Oh. See? This is why I'm not a good candidate!
I'm sure you will do just fine. Now, give me a full report. And he sits down. You sit down across from him, and you begin to recount. And the camera fades out. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Chittering and clicking. A distant red sun burning in the sky, and the soft, wet sound of spiders going about their never-ending labors. And webs. Countless, endless, stretching webs. Great works of humans and elves and orcs and peoples we don't even have a name for dot here and there. Ships and spires that look like little more than flies in these monstrous webs. Many shapes move across this network. Some no bigger than a fingernail, others massive. The largest of those shapes that we can see right now picks its way across the webbing, more nimble than an enormous structure made of iron should be, its bulk supported by 8 legs. And we pull into that structure, into one of the finest chambers here. Mallow, could you first describe this chamber, your chambers, and then who we see in here and what she is doing?
It is elegantly adorned in deep purples and reds everywhere. It is an elegant mish of old iron, rock, and jewels collected from God knows where. Probably even so much that she's forgotten where they've come from. And inside, you see a 6'1", 6'2", light obsidian-skinned woman brushing her hair. It has notes of purple with white streaks. And she's trying to get prepared in her armaments, but is spending a little bit too much time focused on her looks.
Aiding you in putting on your armor is Nulgloth, your Drider attendant, who clicks and fusses behind you, securing straps of your... What type of armor?
It's elven... There's an elven sort of plate mail. Beautifully light, but with the spreads of spider webs all through it, so as to, of course, adorn for my goddess.
Nulgloth secures the straps attaching pauldron to breastplate. And you feel as it stops and clicks and backs up slightly, and you look to the entrance to your chambers, and you see 3 figures approach. 3 drow women, and you know them all. Quenthel, Danafe, and Helistra. Nulgloth looks back and forth.
Should I leave, mistress?
Yes, please, leave us to be.
Just slinks through, chittering as it exits your chambers.
She will put on very regal-like robes and kind of click some more jewelry and adornments into place as she keeps the other 3 waiting just a little bit longer than maybe she should.
One of the women, one of the drow, she approached your chamber, but she kind of stayed outside just leaning on the door frame. This is Quenthel, and she is wearing her customary scowl. Her white hair is put up in a very elegant and complicated fashion as it falls down in 8 separate strands. The 2 who enter, however, Danafe and Helistra, you keep waiting.
She will regard Quenthel and look at her up and down, though as one would look at prey, knowing what is to come.
And she just catches eyes with you and averts her gaze to outside the chamber, not giving you any response. Danafe, she is wearing a dress at the moment that looks like it is almost made of spider web, and it barely conceals her. She is curvaceous for a drow, and Helistra is quite tall for a drow and is currently wearing, similar to your armor actually, black steel armor, and has a mace at her hip, a shield on her back. As you finish up, it is Danafe who approaches you. Greetings, sister. You look well.
As do you, sister. It is good to see you. You are in good health.
The Queen of Spiders seems to be treating you quite well, yes?
My beloved always treats us well.
Of course, our mother does. So, sister, surely you must know more about this situation than you're letting on.
I know what the Queen has told me, and only what she has told me.
And what has she told you? And she walks over, and you were like still finishing with clasping a necklace, and she comes over and she takes the necklace from your hands and she finishes clasping it and like smooths your hair a little bit, just grooms you slightly.
Our beloved mother wishes to awaken now. The silence is over. We are back long for this world. And on this day, one of us will become her chosen. And she kind of looks around the room as she says that to everyone, sort of with an air of, I already got this in the bag. Like,
And
come on now.
Quenthel from the door. Not difficult to imagine who that one would be.
You were such a lovely companion, Quintel. Don't be jealous.
Why would I ever be jealous? Our great mother looks on all of her servants for their deeds, not for their other services.
Come now. You know good as anyone. We have all done so much well within our mother.
Danafe from still your side. She does speak true, sister. There are few the Lady of Shadows has taken deeper into her web than you.
She kind of winks a little bit over in her direction just to kind of like enunciate the last bit of that.
So what has she told you about what we are to do to assist her in this awakening?
That I do not know. She has kept that a secret from all of us.
Come now, sister. And she walks around to the front of you. I'm sure I might be able to convince you to divulge a little bit more than that.
If I was able to divulge, I would. But I must admit, I am... Well, we live in the dark, but, you know, I am shuttered this little bit at the moment as to what we are supposed to do. But I just know that we are all here dressed in our best. And she kind of takes a hand and kind of rubs it against her and kind of leans in just a little closer to her. And I know we will all do our best for our mother.
And Danafe gives you a little boop on your nose and steps back, and she appraises you with her starkly gray eyes. A fine look for our mother's attendant. And as she begins to stride away, you hear a voice in your mind. Familiar voice, but a voice that feels like you have not heard in so long. My daughters, come to me. Prove your loyalty to the Queen of the Demon Web Pits. Renew your vows of eternal faith to the Flesh Carver. Soon my webs will cover the abyss. Come to me, my daughters, and become Yorthe. The four of you exchange glances. Yorthe, chosen of Lolth.
The Lady Penitent herself.
you know that that is a position that would not be occupied by all of you. And the three exchange glances, while Quenthel, was there even a point to us coming here? She has already chosen one. Halistra... Sorry. Halistra still hasn't said a word at this point, and has just, with this new information, has just started appraising all three other of you in the room in a very different manner. Predatory.
My eyes continue to be very playful, but I do try to cut her a look when I finally get over to her of, you will not survive this. There are levels to this.
Well, sisters, it seems our mother wishes us to compete for her affection once again. I do suspect we all know who that should be. However, damn if I'm not going to give it a try. And she gives you a smile as Danafe just begins to walk from your chamber, not departing the area, just exiting out.
She will grab her sword and her whip, and attach them both before leaving. And she will kind of turn around and take a look at everything inside again as she stares at the three of them walking away, and kind of look at it and go, "May the odds be ever in our favor, my dear sisters." And then she will stride, I mean absolutely stride, behind them.
You stride, and you pass in front of them. They have come here. This is your home.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in front of them, and as you pass by, Halistra, again, appraisingly looks you up and down. Quenthel snarls and scoffs as you walk by. Danafe, though, you don't see this, but we do. As she watches you walk past, head held high, chest high, confidently striding forward, sure of yourself, she can't help but smile. A smile that, if you could see it, you might wonder if she knew something that you didn't. But you don't see that.
She will, as you're kind of going through, she will stop and lean over to Quintel as she sort of scoffs, and just gently take her, and she'll lean in for a kiss that I doubt she'll get off because of how
she does give you a kiss on the cheek.
So proud. So proud. And then she will walk off, strutting.
We see the four of you descending into the demon web pits. Descending so far that eventually you become obscured by them. And the camera fades out. And when we pick back up, we are in a very different location. We see jungles. A jungle all around. A well-worn path. And a single traveler on it. I actually am
I don't know if I ever asked this question specifically, so I may cut this. What was your character's name? I don't know if you ever specifically said it. So who do we see here walking down this road?
Lorwryn Lyanna Tall, who is a little different now than we last saw her. Now she is still the 6 foot and so athletic drow woman, but now she has bright white hair. Her skin is slightly more purple, leaning into almost obsidian in color. She has her hood up over her. She is still dressed ornately, but in an elven chain shirt instead, with still her swords and things like that at her side, but she is more trying to blend in as a mortal in the realm as much as she can, rather than being as ostentatious as a lover of Loth could be.
The evening sun is starting to provide a little less light here in the depths of the jungle as you continue your trek towards Highgale. And as you come to a clearing, you look up in the evening sky and you see those 7 points of light that you noticed almost 7 months ago. People all around Ivor, as you started your journey across the continent here to Highgale, have wondered in whispered voices, some much louder, what those stars could mean. Maybe it's nothing.
Might just be stars we never saw before, you fools.
Not you. You didn't have one moment of doubt. As soon as you saw the stars begin to come into alignment, you knew what was happening and what would soon be happening. You've lived a long time. Not even close to all of it here on Ivor. You've been around when terrible things have been happening. And you know what the Queendom will do in response. And so you
Not
start...
enough.
And so you began traveling to Highgale. As you are walking here alone on this jungle path, is there anything that you were doing or thinking to yourself?
She is in quiet meditation, as one can when they are on a walk like this. Thinking about the pit, thinking about the ones that she knew, and thinking to her beloved, and wondering how might she continue. Because she's only been on this realm for a time. As much as time can pass for a drow, we perceive very differently. And she is beginning to wonder exactly just what she's going to be able to do about these 7 stars.
Could you make me a perception check, Lorwryn?
Nine.
9. You don't hear the footsteps until they're very close.
Very lost in thought.
But you do eventually hear them as something crashes into you from behind. And you end up on your back, and there is a ragged human face inches away from yours, haggard, beard scrappy and filthy and bloody, clothes shredded, has a knife in his hand and is looking at you with absolute, pure bloodlust and rage in his eyes, and comes down to try to stab you. What do you do?
I would like to basically push him completely off. I can't. Can I get to my sword at this point?
Yeah, he's not grappling you.
Okay. So before he can come down, she will grab the sword from her scabbard, and ignite it in green flame, and hold it between the person and her, as a warning to not come any closer.
You hold it in front of you, green flame ignited, casting this strange glow and eerie shadows here in the jungle. And this man, knife in hand, as you shove him off of you, draw your sword, charges straight into you and impales himself on your blade. And as he is all the way down, abdomen to hilt, or abdomen to handguard, he still continues to try to stab at you.
Does he connect is the question.
No. Not with a 4 on the die, I'm going to say that.
Then she will take her free hand as he starts to kind of try to stab down and try to catch him.
Mm-hmm. Easily done.
To stop him from there. And then she's just going to try to slowly lay him down onto the ground, because death will take him sooner rather than later.
He screams in rage and looks at you with absolute fury until his final breath.
She will hold him to that because she understands the aura of this. It's not... She can perceive this is not normal bloodlust or rage. This is from afar. This is from the stars that she's been tracking. This is... She's surprised it's only one that has come to her, and not the entire town. Which is why she stayed in the jungle, which is why she's stayed away from so many of these places, because she knows the danger of what groups of people can do.
And by the time night falls, you step out of the heavy jungle area, and you see in the distance the high towers of Highgale. And you continue your trek. Thank you, Mallow.
Thank you.
Dope scene, dude.
Dude, the tension between... Me and Aaron are dying here, okay?
They've all been very different.
Your use of language that should not be used in that way.
Oh, it was all very deliberate.
Oh yeah, no. We know what we're doing with this one.
Yeah,
that was so good.
I'm just here for the ride. I'm just like, okay, we're good. This is good.
good. We're good.
Good shit.
That's like great. Matty and I are over here like, oh fuck. Oh my god.
An endless stretch of mountains separates a lush and verdant landscape from one of slouching desert and thirsty salt marshes. The belt of the world splits the continent of Ivora in two, showering life-giving rain and destructive storms atop the queendom of Windward, and parching the lands of Scalded to the east on the leeward side. In the foothills of those mountains, only a few days' travel from one of the tunnels that connects Windward and Scalded lands, there sits a tavern. The sun set several hours ago. Several folks stand outside of this tavern, some standing, some sitting, most drinking, and all looking up to the stars. Mav, could you please describe the exterior of this building and the sign?
What you see is a 2-story tavern. It looks like a guild hall, what you would think is a guild hall, but it's a tavern. The name of it is the Blaze of Virtue. Its head, the sign, Blaze of Virtue. On it is a placard of a dragonborn with 4 horns, looking straight down, and flames coming out of the dragonborn's head. The color of the flames are blue. So, there you go.
Also, could you describe the door of this building?
The door of the building is quite tall because the Blaze of Virtue is accommodating to all sizes and all heroes and adventurers alike. So it taps out about like 10 feet tall.
As we push inside the tavern, there are about 7 or 8 people inside here right now. As one of them is seated kind of in a corner, looks like a warforged. There is a goblin in here with a large metal man standing perpetually next to where he is sitting at the bar and drinking. I would love it, Mav, if you could describe the interior of this bar and who we see behind the counter.
So, the interior of the bar is a nice, quaint, warm feel where you feel at home. Everyone knows your name at the Blaze of Virtue. On the walls, there's different pictures of different adventurers who have come through, regaling tales. There is a stage where the band comes in and plays every other night. We also have open mic night where you can tell your stories. Best story of the night gets a free drink. There are trophies from past adventures. There's a troll skull, another dragon skull. All of these wonderful attachments and just wonderful, great memorabilias all across the bar. And you see behind the bar is a gold dragonborn with 4 horns, cleaning up behind the counter, just enjoying her life. She is gold, but there's spots of her scales that are copper and brass looking. She has, her hairstyle is wrapped. She has Havana twist hairs. Her hairstyle is in a Havana twist. And she has a bandana over it while she's cleaning. And she is in a barmaid's outfit because she's working. This is what she does during the time. And you see Korrin.
And Korrin, as you are going about the never-ending work of a small business owner, especially a restaurant, what is for dinner tonight?
We are having a wonderful stew. It's Korrin's favorite stew. It's just corn stew. No one knows what's in it. It just tastes delicious. There's meat, chicken, beef, other spices. It's when you come in from the cold, that's what you want, and it warms your soul. It's a feast fit for a hero.
As you start to serve out bowls of this to the people here, Blitz, the goblin, is like almost bouncing excitedly in his stool as you start to bring it over.
Oh, we've waited all week for this. Come on.
And just as soon as you plop it down, just...
Blitz, please slow down before you throw up on my bar again.
Excuse me. That's delicious. You have any more? Come on, Korrin.
You paid your tab.
I'll pay it up. I mean, I'm good for it.
I meant last week's.
And elbows the the metal humanoid behind him, who reaches and grabs a bag and drops it onto the counter.
That should be most of it. Please. Come on, just one more bowl. It's so good, Korrin. No one else out here can cook for shit.
The contrast of the 7'8" dragonborn over Blitz. Look, Shug. That's fine. This is well enough. But you're going to have to come up with the rest. All right?
Goblin's honor.
All right, whatever. Here.
You set another bowl down, and you walk over, and you then set a bowl down in front of Don's. Don's always asks for whatever it is that you have cooked. You've never seen them eat. They are a warforged. And she has... her face is the color of oxidized copper. And has... her face is made up of, like, 4 parts, essentially. The 2 sides of the face, the upper head, and the middle. And there's slight gaps between them that reveal the internal machinery. But she has a spell that has been cast over her face that when she speaks, even though her mouth does not move, when she speaks, this less opaque, illusory version of her face that looks just a little bit more human than her actual one does move when she speaks. Thank you, Korrin. It looks wonderful.
No problem, hon. Look, now mind you, I can make other things if you want anything besides this. I have recipes for everyone that comes through here. All right?
Whatever you have made has always been perfect. Thank you.
All right, hon. Now you eat on up, okay? You need your strength.
And she just sits and looks at the bowl, which is all she ever does with the food. And you begin to continue to the other patrons. And as you do, as you're handing out stew to another table, you hear as the sound of scraping wood as 2 chairs are pushed back, and 2 of the patrons in here are in each other's faces. One of them is a familiar individual for you. This is Ravna, and she has a very, very hot head, and is currently in the process of starting a scrap with a newcomer you've never seen before in here, a human. And they are just, like, grabbing each other's shirts and starting to throw punches at each other.
With a quickness with them not even noticing, Korrin is right there on top of them, and Korrin puts her tail in between them and smacks both of them apart. 1, Ravna, no. 2, you, new guy, listen. And she kind of collects herself. You see that sign right there?
Does kind of like a double take over at it. Yeah.
Hold on. Snaps and it changes into common. It says, no fighting. Absolutely no fighting. Tell your tales. Use your words. But if you scrap, then I have to get involved. And I don't want that. You don't want me involved, right?
No.
Ravna, do you
No.
want me involved? All right. So, that's the number 1 rule. No fighting, and don't steal from me, or I'll take your hands.
The human, like, pulls apart from you a little bit and just goes into a corner, sulking and eating alone. And Ravna, just as he walks away, just quietly enough so that you can hear it, but he can't. Pussy.
Korrin will grab Ravna by the throat.
Look,
Behave.
you,
I don't care.
can you let me go?
Nope, not until you listen. We're kind to each other here. That's what this whole place is about. It's friendliness.
It was only a minor theological disagreement.
About what?
Can you let me go?
Let's go.
Walks back to the bar with you and sits down.
Little friendly discussion about the alignment and what it might or might not mean. He thought one thing, I thought another, and I thought my fist might solve the argument faster than my words. Simple calculation.
Listen, I've been around for quite some time. Ravna, I'm 50 years old, okay? Listen, not every fight has to be solved with violence. You can literally talk it out with other people. Yes, other people's
But
views.
if you are
I'm not
talking it out, is
fucking
it a
done.
fight? Okay, I'm sorry, Korrin. Please continue.
Thing is, even if you do disagree with each other, you don't have to come to blows all the time. And what about the stars? What are you talking about the stars?
Everybody is talking about the stars. He think it mean nothing. I think it mean good thing. He said that I am naive for thinking so. I said that his nose makes satisfying cracking sound when I punch it. It did make satisfying crunching sound for what it's worth.
You're paying for his dinner. You know that, right?
That is fair. You know, actually, can that be a new policy? If I pay for their dinner, can I punch people? It's good value.
No, because then I break that rule, and we have rules here for a reason.
If I get punished for breaking rule, then rule is still in effect.
Well, if you get punished for breaking the rule, you won't break the rule.
Come
Right.
on, no. If you know what, I pay for his dinner. We discuss details later. It's fine.
There's no discussion.
Maybe a little discussion. No discussion. Sorry.
And Korrin will press a button on underneath the counter, and there will be on the ceiling, not through the other roof, but on the ceiling, it will show kind of an image of the stars in the sky so she can look at what's going on outside.
Got it. Love it. You look
You know about the alignment, or at least you've seen it in the sky. Who hasn't in these last months? And they are getting closer together. In your years, most of the time, things like this are nothing. Strange things happen that you can't explain. But when they are something,
well, it's, and we'll click it again and it'll disappear. It's nothing to worry about. You know, we've got plenty of people that do these type of things and will learn about them, and they'll write them in their little journals and all that stuff. You know, it's nothing.
you say it's nothing, and you continue to just look up at the image of the night sky above you for a second. You can't help but have a little tickle down your spine. You spent years of your life fighting against incredible odds, things that most people, even if you were to while away the hours telling them these stories, half of them they would not believe. And the other half they probably couldn't stomach to hear. And you've developed instinct over those years. And a shiver runs down your spine when you look at those stars.
Korrin's spines. She has 3 sets of spines going down in a row.
Goes down on 3.
3, yeah. And they just kind of flex a little bit like this. Like something doesn't feel right. Well, I hits a button, makes it disappear. All right. Anyone else want any more soup, any more stew? Like anybody want seconds or thirds in your case, Blitz? And please fix the bathrooms. I told you. And no
On it!
no extra things. Just
I'm gonna improve the design!
you don't have to improve everything.
At least let me try.
We hear this banter between you and your regulars as you continue to ladle out a few more helpings of your famous Korrin stew. And when we pick up next, it's either later that night or the next day, but we see you, Korrin, in the kitchen preparing a snack and a drink for your husband. What are you preparing?
What I'm preparing for him, for my husband, Gren Ironhand, my lovely halfling husband. What I'm preparing for him is a loaded baked potato, lots of bacon. He really loves bacon. Even when we were together growing, dating and whatnot, that people called him the bacon guy before they actually learned his real name. But high protein, loaded baked potatoes, a chicken sandwich, and this wonderful 64-ounce gallon or 64-ounce brew in a gourd of purple mixture that smells like berries.
We see as you lovingly prepare this, write a little note, tuck it in as you've wrapped it in a cloth. And we see as you head to a door in the back of the back storage room. Maybe this door is obvious. Maybe it's concealed. What is this door
The door is... It looks like a normal wall to anyone else. But to Korrin, it's a door. She puts her hand up against the door. It unlocks. And when she goes through it, it still looks like a normal storage room. Except there is a symbol on the ground that looks like it's been used a lot to the point where it's etched into the ground. Little scorch marks around it as well. Korrin goes to step on that sigil, and a light activates underneath her, and she disappears.
Korrin is gone. And we just focus on that space where you were for a little while. Hours pass. The blaze of
Virtue.
There it is. The blaze of virtue has, quieted enough that you were able to take a little time away. When you return, it is late in the evening. Actually, it is the middle of the night when you return, because where you were going and where you now return to at your tavern are two very different places. You return to the blaze of virtue dark. You walk through the storage room. You could walk this building in the dark, by heart, blindfolded, backwards. And so you weave your way through into the main room where the fire has burned very, very, very low, but it still glows just enough to illuminate one figure seated here in the tavern.
Korrin, all the while walking back, she's fixing her clothes and adjusting and putting them in the proper place again, like she normally does when she has to go away for a little while. She walks up to the bar, starts pouring herself a drink. You do know that we're closed, so I'm going to give you about 3 seconds to explain yourself while you're here before I throw you out on your ass.
Beg your pardon. And he stands up, walks towards the dim fireplace, and turns his chest so that you can see the tabard that he is wearing. It is a coat of arms that is separated into 3 inside of a diamond. On one side, there are blue and white wavy lines, one on top of another. In the middle, a green tower, and on the opposite side, pure white. A coat of arms of the Queendom of Windward. I come with summons. Are you Korrin?
Depends on who's asking.
Queen Meleth of Windward, daughter of Queen Meleth, granddaughter of Queen Eleanor, chosen of the gods. Long may she reign. Has needs of your service and requests your immediate attendance in Highgale.
Please fucking stop. All you fucking royals are the same. God damn. Why is she asking me? Why is she bothering me? Please.
He leans down and goes to take like a little stick, and that is still on fire, and pull it out. Is it all right if I smoke in here?
I don't fucking care. It's the middle of the goddamn night. Like, what do you want?
He lights his pipe, and as he's doing so, like as he's in the process of puffing on it and lighting it.
Before I came here, when I was sent, I did research on you. If you are Korrin, then I think you already know why. Don't you?
The stars are weird. People are acting weird. I've heard tales. I've heard stories. I've heard people coming in here and saying that there's some people out there that are acting weird and stuff like that.
Did you
is
hear
that what
the
you're
one
asking me?
about the mother and daughter who were found starved to death in each other's arms, while the father gorged himself in the next room? Did you hear the one about the travelers who walked into a town and found half of the citizens dead in the streets, and the other half walking about their business, blood still on their hands? Did you hear that one?
No, I didn't hear that one.
These are dark hours, and Her Majesty requests your assistance. I have a horse prepared for you. We can leave as soon as you're ready. Sooner is better. The stars wait for no one, Korrin.
Korrin downs her drink, puts it down. You're not going to leave my bar until I leave with you, are you?
Just looks at you.
Yeah, I figured as much. All right. Look, I need to leave a note for the next shift. I got a bunch of new kobolds that I'm coming in. They're going to be trained so I could teach them how to run things and do shift leads and all this other stuff. This is a lot.
Kobolds are your serving staff.
Yes.
I love it.
We are an equal opportunity hire here, all right? Okay.
I just have the image of, like, for the taller customers, just the trays, like, right at knee level, just running through here. Sorry.
Listen. It's all right. Yeah, that's funny to you. We're an equal opportunity hire here. Like, I'm glad I can get a laugh out of you. But, all right, I have to go change, because
While you're doing that, you have anything to eat?
no, the fuck you didn't just act. Okay.
I'll pay for it. It was a long ride.
Don't. I will feed you as long as you just stop talking. All right?
Gives you a
can't
thumbs
talk
up.
with your mouth full. All right. Have a seat. I'll go heat you up something.
We see as
Pouring.
Yep. As you.
It's a giant pool.
Go ahead. You
know what? No, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? Looks to get a bowl and just grabs the leftover stew and just walks the big pot out and drops it. Here, eat the leftovers. I have to go get cleaned up.
Gives you another thumbs up. You head off. What does Korrin do to prepare to leave home?
First, she showers because she feels like this is probably going to be the last time she gets an actual nice shower. Once she's clean, she goes over, and when you look at Korrin is ripped. There's muscles. It's just like a body that has been sculpted by the gods. There are scratches, divots, battle wounds that have healed but didn't heal properly, or just were too severe that they left wounds. she puts on a knee brace, kind of slides it up and kind of connects it onto her left knee. And she, stark naked, walks over to a bureau where she opens it and you see her outfit, which an outfit that she hasn't worn in forever. It is gray, like a monk's gi, with red lining, sleeves that she pulls up to where they are made of leather that looks like it would be like a fine material, but when it puts on, it's hard. She then puts on a belt of a unique design, like an infinity symbol with notches with crystals in it. And she then looks at her wedding ring that she has on her hand, leaves it on, because wherever she goes, her husband goes.
As you look down at your ring, make me a perception check. You were muted by I think I lip read 21.
21!
I am getting so good at lip reading numbers exclusively thanks to playing D&D on Discord. It is so great. With a 21, you barely hear these soft footfalls of your husband approaching. And then you hear as he stops at the door to your room. Hey.
Hello, Starshine.
You leaving?
Seems like I am. The royal queendom requires me to be there.
Do you know when you'll be back?
Knowing me, it'll take about like a week or a couple of weeks. Hell, even maybe 2 days.
He, as you start to lose your words, walks up next to you and catches your hand that you're just gesticulating aimlessly with. Of course they came to you. They'd be idiots not to. It's all right. The virtue will be able to subsist without you for a little while. I'll even throw in a helping hand. I don't make your stew as well as you. You never told me the full ingredients, and I've never been able to guess them. But I will do my best. And you're going to do great. Whatever it is.
The secret ingredients, love.
That wasn't exactly a secret, my love. You put love into everything you do. It's one of the things I fell in love with. Is it? It's about those stars, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. It is. They've been tracking weird, and I've been tracking them, and I didn't know what they were for, you know? Something's off. The world's off. It's been crying out, but I didn't know how to help it. And he's crouched down to his level, by the way, now.
Well, if anyone will figure something out, it's you. I love you. We'll be okay here. Don't worry about us.
I know. I love you too.
Hey, did you pack the sending stone? That way you can at least... I'll try to come make sure that I'm in the tavern around midnight each night. That way if you're around, I can tell you goodnight until you get back.
She has been rummaging through this for the sending stone. I got it! Oh, what'd you say, honey?
Glad you found it. You need to have a better organizational system.
My system is fine.
System is fine.
I know where everything is.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how good my organization skill is? You want to know how good it is? Because my love for you is right here. See, I know where it is.
You can't win every little thing by just saying you love me.
I will yeet you.
I believe that.
But I won't. Can we do something about the cats in here? Like, you keep bringing in cats.
Look, it's not my fault that they keep coming here. If you would not leave food out for the stray ones, we wouldn't have so many of them that I'd have to bring some inside.
Think Blitz is doing that.
I believe that. I'll keep an eye on him too.
Thank you. He still owes us money. But that's not the thing. It's just, look, love you, and when we get back, we can do a big celebration. I have like this really whole thing planned out for this week, for like in the next month or so, and then we can sit and we can talk about it, and we can do all of that.
Clover, don't worry. I know that this is what you have to do. And I've been lucky enough to have these last years where nothing pulled you away, and it has been heaven on Ivor. But this is what you're really... This is what you were put here for. It's to help people. So go help. I know you'll do great. Hopefully it's nothing, but I'll come out here at midnight every night to tell you goodnight. Okay? And if it takes longer than a week, that's okay. We've got it. Your cookbooks are in there, and I'll have Don's help. I'm sure she'd be happy to help. So we've got it.
And also, if you still have any problems between anything, please reach out to the other girls. Tali, Ghana, Carrie, and Luna, all of them, they'll be able to help if you need them, okay?
We've got this. We've got you.
Okay.
You're gonna do great. And he gives you a kiss and a big hug, and you absolutely envelop him as he hugs you, and he just says into your chest, "You're the best person I know."
And you're the best part of me.
Hurry back. Oh, is there any leftover bacon?
It's in your secret stash drawer. I make some for you
the
always.
best. Thank you. Now,
you're welcome. I know.
Do you need help getting anything else together? You all set?
Honestly, I'm gonna try that new axe Blitz made me. Like, he wanted to put something special on it, and like,
at least just bring it. That'd make him feel good.
Yeah, he did improve my axe, so that's for a payment. But I'll get it. I'll try it. And you see another switch in the dresser drawer, and you see all of these different weapons pop out and kind of rotate around until you see this giant double-headed axe with there's gears and then there's giant runes language carved in on all of the pieces and the clockwork mechanisms and stuff like that, but it is a hefty boy. But as weird as it is, where you would see the right hand, the top hand, there's a shifter, and she just cranks it and it kind of makes a noise. Well, I guess this is what he wants me to use, so I'll just use it.
And as you go to, like, press the button to close your stash once again, oh, wait! And your husband grabs one of the hand axes that is in your armory. First axe I ever got you. Gotta take it with you.
You know, this is my favorite one, right?
Well, I do have great taste, notoriously.
I took out a giant's eye with this one time.
I was there, I remember.
Hmm?
Now, come on, you're stalling.
Maybe I am. I'm scared. Sorry, I am. I don't.
You're scared.
I honestly don't. Yes, don't rub it in. I am scared. I don't know if I still got it, to be honest with you.
Wait, that's what you're scared of? That you don't have it?
Yeah.
Certain things never really go away. I know you haven't fought in a little while, but I've seen you spar. I don't know anyone who would want to go up against you when you actually mean it. Definitely not me. And that's not just because you're my wife.
Technically, we did fight the first time we did meet.
First and last time that I beat you.
Actually, you didn't. See,
You and I remember this very differently, and we've gone over this. And there was I disagree, and I love you, and that's okay that you are wrong.
We're rewriting history. Okay. Okay.
Well, if you could beat me
on him,
and I'm pretty great, then you'll probably do just fine. Right? You got this.
Yeah.
Have half as much confidence in yourself as you have in everyone else.
All right, I'm stalling. All right.
Come on.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that guy's already ate up all the stew. I gave him the big pot.
We see as the two of you walk into the main room, greeted by a loud belch as the dwarf drops the wooden spoon into the into the pot that it was in, and there's just a clang and a thud. Yep, he cleared it.
Oh, that was incredible. Excuse me. Delicious as that was, I'm not that excited about riding a horse right after that, but the Queen's matters must take precedent. Are you ready, Korrin?
Gotta help another royal out. I'm used to it. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. You do know you could have took some of that with you. I could have just boxed that, put it in a container for you. You didn't.
No time. Once we're on the road, we're staying on the road.
You better not fall asleep.
There's a skill to sleeping in the saddle.
We see as the two of you walk away from the blaze of virtue. Your husband standing in the door, the dim, lingering glow from the dying fire silhouetting him as he raises a hand and waves as you depart. We hear the hoofbeats as the pair of horses take off down the mountain road. Thank you, Mav.
You're welcome.
She's so wholesome. She's so wholesome.
The city of Highgale is the seat of power of the Queendom of Windward. Outside of the walls of Highgale, the jungle still presses close. As the camera soars across the city, you can hear the sounds of life in the streets, the cries of peacocks from beyond the walls. Flocks of birds fly overhead, only halfway up the main tower of the city of Highgale. It is not into that tower that we peer. It is instead into one dramatically shorter, but still incredibly tall, that sits nearby. The Halls of Weaving, the home of the arcane branch of Windward's government, the Weaveminders. These halls are places of learning, vanity, incredible displays of unnecessary arcane prowess, but also where discoveries of the application of magic have changed the lives of millions. It was within these hallowed halls that so many of those discoveries were made. We pull into one of the larger, more lavish living quarters in the Halls of Weaving. Matty, would you mind describing these chambers and the person we see therein?
As was mentioned, it is large. Too large, almost, to fit in the tower. It seems to extend beyond the walls, in a way. Every wall is covered either in a gorgeous hand-woven tapestry of the finest silk, depicting scenes of battle, journey, stories, and mythology. Or it is lined with bookshelves. Each bookshelf is filled to the top with tomes, some of which are embossed in gold, some that seem to be one-of-a-kind journals and textbooks. And where there isn't a book, there sits an artifact. Everything from a delicate golden dragon egg to almost what appears to be a withered hand on a chain. Every inch of the walls are covered with treasure. Treasure that could pay the tuition of an entire child's life. The furniture is all single wood redwood, each piece carved rather than created from various trees. There's a wooden bed that has beautiful velvet drapery on it. It's small. A one-person sort of bed. And a large redwood table made out of a single piece of wood, which sits a middle-aged elven woman, dressed in a beautifully hand-woven silk robe that is pulled up to her elbows. She has dozens upon dozens of papers sitting in front of her, scattered. Some that depict star charts, some that have complicated runes and arcane symbols that she seems to read with ease. She is tall, just over 6 feet tall, with a almost white gold hair that is pulled back in intricate braids, and each braid is clamped with a golden bead. She has a face that is all angles. Her eyebrows are almost peaked, angular, with angular cheekbones and jawline. She's thin, unhealthily thin. And every inch of her skin is covered in dark, carved runes. Halfway between a tattoo and a scar, they seem to be carved within her skin. And that is what she is currently doing, with what appears to be a quill, not tipped with feather, but tipped with a golden metal that she dips in ink before carving it across the back of her hand.
As you begin to move this quill across your flesh, there is another quill that sits still untouched on your desk ever since you used it a day ago to sign the construction order, the final go-ahead for a plan that you had put in place. Papers and reports also stacked on your desk. Rumors of happenings in local and faraway towns. Whispers that some may not have even made it to the ears of the Queen's closest advisors yet. There is a soft knock on your door.
What is it now?
The door opens. Do you turn when the door opens, or do you not acknowledge directly the person who walks in?
She does not turn. She doesn't even look over her shoulder, as she is assuming that this is her butler, and that he will walk in, say his piece, and leave as he normally does.
You don't look back at the person, and there's a longer pause than you might have expected from your butler. And as you do eventually turn to see who has entered your room, you see your sister. She looks around your quarters. Oh, sister. I don't know if I've ever actually been in these chambers of yours. These are truly beautiful. Could you please describe...
I repeat what I said.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What is it now? And she is where she was gently holding the quill knife. It is now partially embedded in her hand the second she saw her sister. And I will describe her sister for you. While Kalista is all angles and bone thin, her sister is a lot more curvaceous. She has much more supple round cheeks that almost have a rosy hint to them. Her hair is shortly cropped to her shoulders in a slightly curled bob. She is dressed in a simple silvery robe with kind, icy blue eyes that are the only undeniable feature between the two sisters is their eyes. They share the same eyes, although Kalista's are always in a glare. Her sisters are always softly set.
I apologize for interrupting, Kalista. If I've come at a bad time, I can come back.
Just get it over with. What do you want, Saren?
And you can see that you have your demeanor does not surprise Saren anymore, though it still wounds her every time.
Simply... I heard about what you were doing. I know your feelings towards the gods. But you do work in their name, whether you know it or not.
She will fully turn around in her seat to look at her sister. My feelings towards the gods are not towards the gods themselves, but towards the zealots who sell their selves to them. And what I do in the name of knowledge and magic, not in the name of gods.
Is that whose name
They are
you
just
do it in,
known-
sister? Not yours?
Everything needs a title. My name simply is easier to head this.
This is not why I came here. And she walks towards one of the windows that overlooks Highgale. I did not come here to squabble with you.
Then tell me why you came, so you can leave.
I suppose I don't know. I don't know why I came. I love
Maybe
you.
ask your god. Your god might have an answer for you.
Yes. Yes. I will pray to Saloon for you. Thank you for what you are doing. Your reasons do not change, that you do their works. Be well, sister. Should you need me, I am never far.
Don't wait for a call.
And she just leaves the room and closes the door softly behind her.
Kalista will take a moment before casting Prestidigitation to clean the blood off of the papers. And just kind of wince as she looks down at her ruined work on her hand. Always a burden. And she's going to start to bundle up all of the papers, all of the notes that she's collected from her various books and library. And she's going to bundle them all up into a travel journal and start preparing herself to leave.
We see as you begin to gather your things, and the camera will cut. The sound of countless blacksmiths, the forging of adamantine. There are, as the camera fades back in, we see dozens of smiths and artificers at work in a large workshop that is glowing orange from the numerous different furnaces and forges, all working here, united in one common purpose. From the shadows here, as these sparks from different works cast occasional bright light, we see the sharp face of Kalista watching over this process. Aaron, what things do we see the various smiths and artificers of the Queen's command working on in here at this moment?
You see illuminated by giant hammer strikes. The formations of plate, of joints, of appendages, all being carefully, but almost with the brutality, put together. And from a distance, it almost looks like a well-rehearsed dance, the way that these forgers are moving around, pulling chains to lift pieces, using tongs to remove heated metal from the furnaces. And it is a sight to behold. The forging of adamantine armor on a scale that hasn't quite been seen before.
The large chamber that we see is not illuminated by any windows or outside light. It is the glowing of molten metal and countless candles in here. The work of the artificers being overseen directly by Kalista, the representative of the Weaveminders here. The labors of this construction are heavy and long and tiring. Days pass, shifts of different smiths. By the time all is said and done, over 50 sets of hands have aided in the construction of this large humanoid shape that we see assembling here in this workshop. Dwarves, gnomes, humans, orcs, goblins, countless different species lending their craft to this creation. As the days pass, and Kalista continues to watch over the goings-on, what do we see on her face?
As every day passes, as every hour, as every piece is added, she becomes more and more, I wouldn't say pleased, but satisfied. As every hand touches it, touches him, she grows more and more excited in a way.
You watch.
Like watching the...
Continue, I'm sorry.
Like watching the final touches of a project you have waited for ages. Something that finally tests your limit. Your creativity being built in front of your eyes.
We see the sparks flare, reflected in Kalista's hawkish gaze. Here in the center, still suspended by chain, the large metal humanoid shape begins to take form, the pieces laid into place. Aaron, with the exception of the head, which is still being constructed, what do we see here?
We see a massive figure. When it's fully stood up next to the dwarves, the humanoids, it towers over them. Each leg reaching 4 to 5 feet. The torso adding on. And as the camera pans up, there's the attachment of a giant metal belt with flames engraved on it.
As the belt is placed around the midsection and welded into place.
And the camera keeps continuing upward to the full chest plate that is void of any insignia. It is just pure strength and power. And the pauldrons get lowered on from massive chains from above and affixed on each side that are almost the same size as the chest piece. And eventually the hammering slowly stops and the light from the forge is dim as more candles are brought in to illuminate the room.
We see now as the head is placed atop the chest here. Could you describe the head as it is lowered into place?
Of course. It looks almost as if it's one smooth piece. Void of face. Eye slits that go across. And one down the middle. It's not completely smooth. There are some variations along the mouth, on the sides. And then along the back, 3 blades arise out the top. And everything with the candlelight flickering across it has a shimmer of bronzish metallic.
And we see as the work, at least the work of the artificers and the smiths has completed on this shape, on you, they do not stop their labors. And behind in the distance, we see another similar shape being constructed. But focusing on this one still. As the smiths and artificers move away, there are 7 individuals who come in a circle around this completed work. Does this work have a name? Kalista?
I will name it when it's done.
7 figures encircle this metal being, all dressed in the garb of 7 different faiths. Moradin, Ilmater, Chantia, Selûne, Kelemvor, Bahamut, and Sylvanas. Priests and clerics of 7 gods. The priest of Moradin steps forward. He is a stout dwarf dressed in ceremonial, heavy, rune-etched mithril armor with a smith's apron draped over it. And his beard is braided with iron rings, which themselves have prayers further inscribed on them in Dwarvish. And he breaks the circle and walks towards this creation. And as he lifts from his hip a glowing smith's hammer. In the name of the Soul Forger, Moradin, I bless this creation. What blessing does he place upon this, Aaron?
On this massive figure gets placed a long piece of white cloth, frayed at the edges, but inscribed in arcane language. And if one were to get close enough and read off of this cloth, it would say, I reject the whispers of apathy and the chains of avoidance. The Soul Forger's work is unending, and I am his instrument. I swear to labor without rest, to fight without hesitation, and to burn the shadow of sloth from my soul with the flame of diligence.
Takes this piece of cloth, takes a nail, and with the glowing hammer, drives the nail into you and affixes this scroll of blessing. The priest of Morden steps back into the circle. Priestess of Ilmater, clad in simple, tattered robes, bound with a red cord around the waist. Her hands are wrapped in linen, brows smeared with ash. In the name of Ilmater, the one who endures, I bless this creation. Aaron?
I am but dust before the one who endures. My arrogance shall be broken upon the anvil of humility. I swear to bow before the wisdom of my companions and the will of Ilmater. Lest pride blind me to my duty. I shall overcome through service and sacrifice.
Takes a small dagger, cuts her thumb, presses the scroll of blessing onto you, and presses the blood onto the top, and where the blood was, the scroll affixes to you. The next priestess of Chontia, a warm, kind-eyed woman with a flowing cloak reminiscent of woven wheat stalks. In the name of the Earth Mother, Chontia, I bless this creation.
The wealth of the world is not mine to hoard. Let my grasping hands be stayed by the Earth Mother's decree. I vow to give freely of my strength, my spoils, and my blood for the betterment of this world. Greed shall find no purchase in my soul, for I desire only the victory of all.
She takes a small clump of soil, wipes a tear from her eye, mixes the two, presses the scroll of blessing with the soil, and it affixes. The next priestess of Saloon, Kalista, it's Saren. And she steps forward. She's draped in a cloak that shifts between silver and deep blue, shimmering like the night sky. A crescent moon circlet sits on her brow. As the glow of the candles in the forges illuminates you watching off to the side, what do we see on your face in that moment as your sister steps forward?
For the smallest moment, there's almost a glint of hopefulness or sentiment. It's hard to tell before it just turns icy cold and she turns away before even witnessing that blessing.
In the name of Saloon, Moon Maiden, I bless this creation.
I shall not be led astray by the flesh, nor succumb to desires that weaken my resolve. My body is a weapon of the Moon Maiden, my soul a fortress of purity. I pledge to remain pure and steadfast, wielding self-control as my shield against the temptations of the ruinous powers.
In addition to the scroll of blessing, she has a chalice of water left out under the full moon. She uses a droplet of it to affix the scroll to you and pours the remaining water over your feet and steps back into the circle. A warrior-looking priest in pristine, platinum-trimmed robes that reveal underneath his muscular form. Draconic motifs embroidered all up and down the cuffs, his eyes burning with silent wisdom.
In the name of Bahamut, the grandfather of dragons, I bless this creation.
I shall not covet the laurels of my comrades, nor begrudge the gifts of Bahamut upon another. The triumph of one is the triumph of all in his name. I will strive to strengthen myself without resentment, for envy is the blade of treachery.
A tiny dragon scale affixes the blessing of the grandfather of dragons to you. The sixth figure who steps forward, a solemn, hooded figure in black and gray robes. A holy symbol of a set of scales held by a skeletal hand.
In the name of Kalimvor, the great guide, judge of the damned, I bless this creation.
Though rage burns within me, I shall not let it consume my reason. Fury must be tempered with focus, lest it lead me astray. I vow to channel my anger into righteous conquest, striking only where the judge of the damned requires.
A single copper coin the priest of Kalimvor pulls out. And as he lifts it, it melts like wax and seals this scroll to you. The seventh figure, a hobgoblin, ancient in appearance, wrapped in a cloak that looks almost like it's still made of living ivy and bark. The smell of fresh rain and deep wood so strong around him that in a small area it even overpowers the smell of the forges.
In the name of Sylvanus, old Father Oak, I bless this creation.
I shall not partake in excess, nor surrender to the weakness of overindulgence. My sustenance is duty, my hunger quenched by service. I pledge to temper my desires and make of my body a temple fit for Sylvanus's purpose.
A wooden bowl filled with sacred spring water. He pours it over the scroll of blessing as he presses it to you. And it affixes itself. The seven figures stand still in a circle around this, each one of them praying silently to seven different gods. And then we see that they are gone. Oh, Kalista.
Before they leave, Kalista is going to come down from where she has been standing in this small balcony-like overseer post. And she will walk between the seven figures, just between a couple of them, to make her way to the hulking figure in the middle. Without looking, without interrupting their prayers, she will reach up with a gentle touch to the small piece of fabric that her sister placed there on him. She will cast Fly. So she can raise herself to be face to face with this figure. And as they pray, she will reach out and place her hand on the side of his head or his cheek in a gentle caress. And in a whisper that seems to carry above the sounds of prayers and forges and heating of metal, she will simply say, Jaeger.
Your eyes open. And Kalista, you still have in your bag those 2 additional items. The ring that you had forged for Jaeger and the scroll. And Jaeger, your eyes open. And you perceive light for the first time. And sound. And purpose. And you see a face in front of you, the first face you have ever laid your eyes on.
And his head slowly tilts up to meet hers, which she's hovering slightly above his. And it is a beam of orangish gold light from behind the helmet. And his movements start slow, but very fluid and very direct. But he remains focused on Kalista. And after a second says, "What is the meaning of this creation?"
You are to serve. You are to protect. And you are to cleanse this world of the darkness that threatens it. Do you understand, Jaeger?
His head tilts slightly. By your command.
Wonderful. She will slowly lower herself, and she will just hold her hand out like this to Jaeger expectantly.
And at that point, the chains that are holding him up let loose.
Shink, and you drop
And he,
to the ground.
His weight cracks the stone underneath. And from the sides, behind the priests and priestesses,
a few of who
are carried a towering shield and an extremely large trident. And he reaches both hands out and grabs them.
When you hit the ground, a few of the priests and priestesses stumble as there is just this shockwave as your weight lands. And they stumble back, clearing away from you in shock and awe. You reach out and you grab the massive shield and trident made for only one wielder. You. And as Kalista extends a hand, what do?
He, instead of reaching out a hand, saunters up next to but slightly behind in a protective stance and awaits command.
Give me your hand, Jaeger.
He'll take the trident, slam it into the ground.
Pierces through the stone floor here. Just embeds itself.
And reaches a hand down.
Pulling from her bag of holding, which is unlike most bags of holding, but made out of woven gold silk, she will take out 2 rings. One rather small, and one enormous compared to her hand. And yeah, it's like a bracelet-sized ring. And she will
Stop me
the
when I
small
get there.
one.
Stop me. Whoa, no
Yeah,
way.
about
Stop
there.
me.
She will take the smallest one and she will place it on her pinky. And then, with hands as a parent would to a child, so gentle, she will slide the ring onto Jaeger's pinky as well. But as it reaches the joint, it grows hotter and hotter until it sears and melts into the metal, leaving a ring of gold with slight inscription that can be seen in almost a black, burned texture. She will then walk around Jaeger and stop just behind him, where she will take out a scroll, flattening it against Jaeger's back, which is a clean, untouched plate of adamantium. Might have said that wrong. Don't worry about it. She will place her hand over the scroll, and the paper will burn away like flash paper within a second, leaving the brackish ink staining the back of Jaeger. A scroll that she wrote herself. A scroll that she knows what it does. After that, she will turn around, or she'll walk around and face him once again. Arm yourself, Jaeger. I think it is time for us to go.
Grabs the trident, which, as his hand touches it, a slight flare of radiant flame scorches up it and diminishes. And he will follow.
We see the light temporarily in here go bright as the illumination on the trident, and as you shunk, unearth it from where you had embedded it. We see Kalista walking in front with the heavy footfalls of Jaeger behind. And that's where we'll close for tonight. And we'll pick up next time with the Council of the Queen. Great job, everyone! Holy sh! Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new...